Okay, so job interviews, especially those first few, can be really nerve-wracking. You know, you spend so much time working on your resume, and then you actually have to go talk about it and convince someone you're a good fit. And you set this really cool guide about interview tips for beginners.
Yes.
So I thought it'd be fun to kind of go through it together.
Absolutely.
See what we find.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of starting at the beginning, it seems like a lot of people think that an interview is all about how you perform on that day.
Yeah.
But this guide really emphasizes how important the preparation is.
Right.
That happens before you even get to the interview.
Yeah, and that's what I find so interesting is that a lot of folks don't think about that.
Yeah, they don't.
They just think, okay, I need to show up and be my best self that day.
Right.
And while that's true, you really have to do all this work beforehand.
And one of the first things that they talk about in this guide is really researching the company.
Oh, absolutely.
Like really
just really going deep.
Yeah.
It's not just looking at their website, not just the About Us page.
Yeah.
You really want to understand what are their values?
Yeah.
What's their mission? What are they working on right now? What are maybe even their challenges that they're facing?
Right.
And it's about connecting the dots between what they do and what your experience is and what you can bring to the table.
So almost like if you're applying to a company, you should know their latest project or their latest product. If you're applying for like a clothing company, you should know their latest line. Or if they're sustainable.
Exactly.
What are they doing for sustainability?
It shows that you're not just looking for any job.
Right.
But you're specifically interested in their company and the opportunity to contribute to that.
Right. And I think it shows that you're a serious candidate.
It does.
Like you put the time in.
Yes, absolutely.
Which a lot of people don't.
Exactly. And that research can also help you tailor your answers to their specific needs.
Right.
And ask more insightful questions.
Nice.
So
yeah, it all kind of builds on each other.
It does.
I think one thing that people always struggle with is that dreaded question.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
It's like...
It's so broad.
So broad.
Right.
I never know what to say. I feel like I'm rambling or being too robotic.
Yeah, it is a classic opener, and it's often where people go wrong.
Right.
They either launch into a chronological recitation of their resume.
Like I was born.
Right, exactly.
And then I went to school.
Yeah.
And then I graduated. Yeah. And then...
Right, or they overshare.
Yes.
Irrelevant personal details.
Yes.
So this guide emphasizes the importance of crafting a concise and compelling narrative that highlights your key skills and experiences, aligning them with the role's requirements.
So like you're telling a story.
You are.
But you're highlighting how your skills fit what they're looking for.
Exactly. You want to create a story that showcases your potential value to them.
Right.
Not just listing off all your achievements.
Checking boxes.
Right, but connecting those achievements to what the company is looking for.
And the guide actually has a sample answer in here.
It does.
Which I thought was really cool.
Yes. And it really focuses on achievements that are relevant to the job description.
Right.
And it's like a good balance between personal and professional.
Right. You want to strike that balance between professionalism and showcasing your authentic self.
Yeah, I always get nervous about that part, like how personal.
It's too personal.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to tell them my whole life story.
You don't need to. You want them to get a sense of who you are as a person.
Yeah.
But within the context of the professional setting.
Yeah. So the sample answer is a good starting point.
It is.
But how do we actually make our skills and our experiences come alive for the interviewer?
Yeah, that's where the
STAR method.
The STAR method comes
in.
But that kind of sounds...
I know it can sound...
a little gimmicky to me.
It can seem like a formula at first.
Right.
But trust me.
Okay.
The STAR method is incredibly effective.
Okay.
And here's why.
Okay.
It allows you to structure your responses in a way that's clear, concise, and memorable.
Okay.
So instead of just saying, I'm a good problem solver, you're providing a concrete example that illustrates your problem-solving skills in action.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through it.
Okay.
How would I use that? If someone asked me like about my leadership skills.
Okay, let's say the interviewer asks, tell me about a time you demonstrated leadership.
Right.
Okay, so Instead of giving a vague answer, you can use the STAR method to paint a vivid picture.
Okay.
So you start by describing the situation. So perhaps you were leading a group project in college.
Okay.
Then you outline the task, your specific role, and responsibility within the project.
Okay.
Next, you delve into the action.
Okay.
The steps you took to lead the team effectively.
Okay.
Delegate tasks. Overcome challenges.
Okay.
And finally, you highlight the result, the positive outcome you achieved.
Okay.
Maybe finishing the project ahead of schedule, receiving high praise from your professor.
So it's almost like you're telling a story.
You are.
With a beginning, middle, and end.
Exactly.
But you're highlighting your skills within that story.
Yeah, it's about showcasing your skills through a narrative that's engaging and easy for the interviewer to follow.
So you're giving them a little glimpse into how you would actually work.
Exactly.
Like,
and from an interviewer's perspective, that's incredibly valuable.
Okay.
It shows me that you can not only talk the talk,
right?
You can walk the walk.
You can back it up.
You can back it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we've talked about prepping for the interview, answering those kind of questions, using the STAR method, but now the guide also talks about asking questions.
Yes.
But isn't that the interviewer's job?
It might seem counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But asking insightful questions can be just as important as giving great answers.
Okay.
It shows that you're genuinely interested in the role.
Okay.
That you've done your research and that you're actively thinking about how you can contribute.
So it's not just about asking, like, what are the benefits?
No.
Where do I get vacation?
No, you should be asking more specific questions.
Yeah.
Think about it this way.
Okay.
An interview is a two-way street.
Okay.
It's an opportunity for both you and the company to assess whether it's a good fit.
Gotcha.
Asking thoughtful questions not only helps you gather information, but it also demonstrates your initiative and critical thinking skills.
So you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you.
You got it.
Okay. So we've talked about prepping for those common interview questions.
Yeah.
And, you know, using the STAR method to make those answers really memorable.
Yes.
But this guide also spends a lot of time talking about asking questions. And I get that.
Yeah.
It shows that you're engaged.
Right.
But are there like certain types of questions that are better than others?
Absolutely. It's not just about asking any question. It's about asking the right questions.
Okay.
The ones that show you've gone beyond that surface level research and are really curious about the role and the company.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Okay.
Give me an example.
Okay. So let's say you're interviewing at a company that's undergoing a big change.
Okay.
Maybe they're expanding into a new market or adopting some new technology. Instead of asking, tell me about your future plans. You could dig a little deeper.
Okay.
You could say something like, how do you see this transition impacting this specific role?
Right. So you're connecting their big goals with the actual job you're applying for.
Yes.
I see that.
It shows you're not just thinking about your career. You're also thinking about how you can contribute to the company.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah.
So do you think it's better to ask questions that show you know about the company? Or questions that show what your aspirations are?
That's a good question. I think it's all about finding that balance.
Right.
You want to show off your research, your understanding of the company.
Yeah.
But you also want to express genuine curiosity and enthusiasm for the role.
So a healthy mix of both.
Yes. And remember, an interview is a two-way street.
Right.
It's a chance for both sides to see if it's a good fit.
Okay, so this is really making me think about this whole asking questions thing differently.
Yeah.
It's not just about filling the silence.
Oh.
It's another chance to really...
It is. It's a chance for you to shift your mindset from being the passive interviewee to being the active participant.
Yeah, because I usually go into an interview thinking, like, okay, they're going to ask me questions. I'm going to answer them the best I can.
Yeah.
But I need to remember that I'm also interviewing them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got before the interview, like prepping for the interviews. We've got during the interview, asking and answering questions.
Yes.
Now, what about after the interview?
Yes, the post-interview phase.
Yeah.
Which can be...
Oh, it's the worst.
I know.
The waiting.
The waiting is brutal.
I hate it.
It is.
Do you have any advice for getting through that?
Well, this guide emphasizes the importance of a thank you note.
Really?
Yes.
People still do that?
Oh, I think it's more important than ever.
Okay.
It's a simple gesture.
Yeah.
But it goes a long way
Okay.
in reinforcing your interest and leaving a positive impression.
Okay. But is it old-fashioned?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think in today's world where everything is so digital and communication is so fast and sometimes impersonal, a well-written thank you note really stands out.
Okay. I'm convinced. But what should I say in it?
So you want to strike a balance between expressing gratitude and reiterating those key strengths.
Okay.
You can mention something you talked about during the interview, a project that resonated with you, a question they asked that sparked your interest.
So really show them
that
I was listening.
Exactly. You were paying attention,
Yeah.
not just going through the motions.
And the guide also says that you can use this as an opportunity to clarify anything or if you forgot to mention something.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a good point.
It's a chance to circle back.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's not just thanking them. It's continuing that conversation. And reinforcing your candidacy.
Okay, so it's like step 2 of the interview process.
It is.
Okay, so we send the thank you note. We're waiting.
Yes.
This is the hard part.
It is.
But the guide also says we should use this time.
To self-reflect.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because usually I just try to forget about it.
I know it's tempting to just want to distract yourself.
Yeah.
But it's a good idea.
Okay.
To think about what went well during the interview, what areas maybe you felt less confident.
Okay.
Did you stumble over a question?
Okay.
Could you have given a stronger example?
Yeah, that's a good point.
For a skill.
Yeah, it's tempting to just focus on whether I get the job or not.
Right.
But even if I don't.
Exactly.
That feedback is really important.
Each interview is a learning experience.
Okay.
Regardless of the outcome.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, you're refining your approach. Identifying your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
And just gaining more confidence.
So even if I don't get the job.
Right.
It's not a failure.
No, it's not.
It's a learning experience.
It is.
Okay. I love
and
it.
Remember, every company is different.
Right.
Some move really quickly. Some take their time.
So how long should I wait before I reach out again?
That's a good question.
Because the waiting is killing me.
I know, it's hard.
Yeah.
The guide suggests waiting at least a week or two before sending a gentle inquiry.
Okay.
But remember, it's all about the tone.
Yeah.
You're not demanding an answer.
Right.
You're simply expressing continued interest.
Okay.
And checking in on the timeline.
So I shouldn't be like, why haven't I heard back?
No.
Okay.
More like, hey, I just wanted to reiterate my enthusiasm and see if there are any updates.
God, it's so polite.
Yes.
But still interested.
Exactly. And even if you don't get this job, the skills you've developed throughout this whole process are going to help you in the future.
It's like practice makes perfect.
It really is.
The more you interview,
the
better you'll get at it.
The more comfortable you'll become. And with each experience, you're going to refine your approach, identify your strengths, and ultimately find the perfect fit for you.
So we've talked about, prepping for the interview and how to answer those tricky questions and even how to ask good questions ourselves.
Right.
But then there's this whole other part.
Yes.
But we haven't talked about yet.
Right.
The follow-up.
Yes, the follow-up.
And this guide has a whole section about that.
It does.
So I wanted to get your take on it. Like, why is that so important?
I think the follow-up is often seen as an afterthought.
Right.
Just a formality.
Yeah.
But it's a really great chance to solidify that connection you made with the interviewer and really express your interest.
Okay.
And leave that lasting impression.
But sometimes I feel like I'm being annoying.
Yeah.
If I send another email and they haven't gotten back to me.
Right. It's like, am I bugging them?
It is a delicate balance.
Yeah.
You don't want to seem pushy or desperate.
Yeah.
But a well-timed, thoughtful follow-up can really work in your favor.
So how do I do that?
So according to this guide, the first follow-up should always be a thank you note. Ideally within 24 hours.
Of the interview. Okay.
But this isn't just a quick thanks for your time.
Right.
This is a chance to reiterate your strengths. To connect them back to the role and even mention something you talked about during the interview.
So it's like another cover letter, but shorter.
It's like a mini cover letter.
Yeah.
But personalized
Yeah.
and conversational.
Okay.
Yeah, think of it as a way to remind them why you're a good fit and to reinforce that positive impression.
So should I handwrite it or email it?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
While a handwritten note
Can add a personal touch in today's world. An email is usually better.
Okay.
It's more practical.
Right.
And it's faster.
Makes sense.
So you sent your thank you note.
Yeah.
Now we wait.
The waiting?
I know.
How long should we wait?
This guide suggests at least a week or two before sending a gentle inquiry.
Okay.
But again, it's all about the tone.
Right.
You don't want to be demanding. Right. You're simply expressing continued interest and checking in.
So like, hey, I'm still interested.
Exactly.
What's the timeline looking like?
Yes, just a simple check-in.
Okay.
And remember, even if you don't get the job, you've gained valuable skills going through this process.
That's true.
So think of it as an investment in your future.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
This whole deep dive has been really helpful.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I feel like I've learned a lot about interviewing.
Good.
And it's not just about memorizing answers or, putting on a show.
Right.
It's really about preparation.
Yes.
And being strategic.
Yes.
And really showing your enthusiasm.
Exactly.
So for anyone listening out there who's getting ready for an interview, remember, you got this.
You do.
Just prepare.
Yes.
Be strategic.
Be yourself. Be yourself. Let your passion shine through.
Yeah. And the right job will come along.
It will.
Well, this has been another great deep dive.
It has.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
And to everyone listening.
Yes.
Keep learning.
Keep growing.
And keep diving deep.
Absolutely.